What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in this video we're going to talk about how to counter critical hit heroes and critical hit lineups. And most of you, this is not going to be a big surprise. We're just going to jump straight into it. It's our boy Helios. Now, before we go any further, let's do some disclaimers. I am showing you footage from the Hero Wars Facebook version of the game. However, this counter will work on all versions of the game because Helios is the same on all versions of the game. Hero Wars Mobile, Hero Wars Facebook, and Hero Wars Web. Furthermore, I'm going to show you some testing, some fights, and these fights are going to be max testing, maxed out heroes across the board, but I'm not going to add pets. Pets add a little bit of a wonky dynamic to things that the mobile players won't really be able to relate to too much. So I want to talk about why Helios counters critical hit heroes and educate you if you don't know. And if you do know, then just bear with me. The reason for this video will become apparent tomorrow whenever I make a follow-up video to this one on how to counter Helios. And hopefully by the time you're watching this one, that one is live. I'll link it at the end of this video. If it's not there yet, then maybe you're not in tomorrow yet, and we'll watch it together then. The big thing about Helios is he's got this violet ability right here, this flaming retribution ability. Helios is a mage. He fights in the very, very back line, all right? And he has very high magic attack. His violet ability says, while the solar wind is active, each time Helios's allies get critically hit, the flaming sphere may damage the attacker with a fire beam. Every time the solar wind ability, and these are the little flaming spheres that Helios summons, every time this ability is active, if an enemy critical hits any of Helios's allies, these spheres will automatically respond with some retribution damage. And I'm going to show you two fights real quick, just as an example, a quick example. We're going to do a pretty standard Astaroth blender team. There's a lot of variants of the blender, the Keira blender lineup. This is just one of them that I threw together. My team on the left is a Kark Nebula Faceless Martha team. The team on the right is a Keira Sebastian Nebula Jet. Hero Wars mobile players, you'll notice that Sebastian and Nebula are swapped here. This was a change that they did to Hero Wars Facebook a little while ago. You can see without the protection of Helios and potentially a third armor artifact, my Kark team has almost no chance against this lineup. In fact, Kark teams, as a weakness, traditionally lose out to very, very fast attacking teams. Maybe we'll do a video on how to counter Kark with fast attacking teams. But watch what happens when I swap Helios in for Martha. And again, no pets here. This is max testing. The Helios will summon the flaming spheres here in a second, solar wind. And you'll see that as soon as those are up, every time the enemies use their critical hit attacks, Keira critical hits, Sebastian, Astaroth, Nebula, or Jet, with their basic attacks with a critical hit, you'll see that there is some counteraction there. Now, there was a little bit of play in here with the with Kark being able to ult there, but the additional damage that was able to be done by Helios is really kind of what pushed it over. And that's going to highlight a very specific point to Helios. Helios alone is not enough to counter critical hit teams. Occasionally he is, all right, but you can't just throw an okay leveled Helios into a lineup and expect to be able to counter any Daredevil team, any Artemis team. I'm very much looking forward to this Artemis rework on Hero Wars Mobile, by the way. Any Keira blender team, any of the Yasmine teams. It's not necessarily enough. What I have in this lineup, in my attacking lineup here, is Faceless. And Faceless is one of the handful of heroes in the game that has a magic penetration artifact. This is kind of the big deal. This is one of the biggest issues with Helios and why people don't have much success when they just sub him in there. Helios has very, very high magic attack, right? But enemy attacking teams have very high health or magic defense, and you need to find a way to dig through those defenses. So you need a hero like Faceless or Orion, or there are other magic penetration heroes out there to boost the damage output of the allied Helios in order to boost the damage output of those solar wind spheres whenever the enemy critical hits your allies. Here's an example from yesterday's Guild War. Now this is using pets, so Hero Wars mobile players just relax a little bit. There's an enemy Ishmael and an enemy Yasmine that are both going to be doing critical hits. So watch what happens whenever my spheres get up there. Every time that Yasmine is attacking, just about every single time she's getting hit with magic damage. Just about every single time. Now, again, like I said, please forgive me, mobile players. I do have some pets going on here, so it might be a little confusing here. But whenever the enemy Yasmine jumps over to my side, she basically kills herself on my retribution spheres. And then shortly after that, you can see Ishmael starting to ramp up with his damage, and he's very quickly doing a lot of damage to himself, but, you know, my Kark helps to finish him off, and you'll see that. So Helios is a big problem for anybody that's going to level up a Yasmine team or a Daredevil team with Blender on the backside, with a Sebastian and Jet on the backside, or a Keira team with Sebastian and Jet on the backside there. Maybe a Dark Star with critical hit support, a Ginger, a Fox, an Artemis. Any of these heroes that you want to make into a critical hit Blender-style hero, you're going to have issues with Helios. So you need to be mindful of how to counter him. And in next video, we're going to definitely talk about how you can counter Helios if you are a Blender lineup. But this is going to be the primary way. Short of just stacking a lot of dodge or a lot of blind on your team or a lot of armor artifacts on your team, which are all pretty standard choices to defend against physical attacking teams as well, Helios is going to be your go-to to counter enemy critical hit teams. If you found this video helpful, education at all, please give it a like. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. We do post new videos every single day, as well as a live stream Monday through Friday. Schedule's on screen now. I hope to see you there. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.